Hello there, I'm Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Star Wars. It's a little more timely this time by a couple days. So we're a little past the 10th episode and here are my thoughts. Let's talk about episode 10, Common Ground. So here we go into Bad Batch once more. So brief recap, Raxus, which is a previous separatist stronghold, is now under Imperial control and their senator publicly goes against the Empire. This leads to a rescue mission which goes to our Bad Batch crew through Sid. Hunter, ends up being really worried about Omega's safety after everything that we just went through and has her stay behind with Sid. Now the crew gets the job done with some fun action on Raxus. Meanwhile, Omega proves to be great at Daedrak, holochess, and wins tons of money through it at Sid's encouragement. And that, by the way, leads to my biggest surprise of the episode, which is that the debt to Sid has now been completely paid off by Omega playing the huge strategy in there, because she's really bloody good at it. I really thought this would not be so soon. Certainly we're going to get it paid off because it was going to put more into that whole conundrum for them as to which way they were going to go. But wow, did not see that coming so fast. Very cool. So how about the highlights here of the episode? So my top 5 highlights. Number 5 is, the fight sequence on Raxus as they were escaping. Tons of fun. I mean, this is one of the things we always get out of Bad Batch is some great fight sequences. And this time we had some walkers in there and one. Tons of fun. It's going to be fun to see the walkers eventually get upgraded later on, potentially as the show goes on, if it goes far enough. Number 4 for my highlights is seeing Omega play all those strategy games and just getting to see her show off just how good she is at them. I wonder if the Force is playing a part too in here. That's an interesting question as well. Number 3 is getting to see Raxus for the second time in the shows and movies. We did get to see it once before back in Clone Wars during the episode Heroes on Both Sides. Now, for those who don't know, the Separatist Senate itself was on Raxus, so very important planet. And we got to see it again here, and of course in far more quality as we're in Bad Batch time as opposed to earlier on in Clone Wars, and beautiful animation. Number 2 for my highlights is getting to see the anti-separatist bias within the clones, especially in Hunter and Echo. Which, hey, there's a time I get to talk about Echo a little more. Sometimes he fades off into the background, but this time, that definitely was a very big Echo theme as well. And it should be when you consider what happened to Echo at the hands of the Separatists. That's the reason he is half machine now, as the case may be. Yeah, hello. But I'm really curious to see where this will go in the future as we explore more of that anti-separatist bias and really probably have to have them come to different terms with that, because some of the old Separatist holdouts are the big beginnings of the rebellion. And if they're going to be connected that way a little, their view will have to change a little. Gonna be interesting. And the number 1 highlight here is the expansion of the lore by watching the events on Raxus. So everything we get to see more about the Empire and how it's going to head and subduing worlds and working on that, as well as our senator from Raxus and, taking a stance against it and what might come from that. So yeah, the lore expansion. If you know me, you know I love seeing all kinds of pieces added to lore. Always huge thing. So that is my biggest highlight from this one. So a couple other things about this episode. Emotionally, there was actually a lot more humor in this episode than there has been in a while. We've been pretty serious on these last few. Now, Sid, by the way, actually helps a lot with that. Love the name she gives to Hunter. He deserves some of them too, that's for sure. And yeah, there were some tense moments, especially between Omega and Hunter, and you feel that frustration with Omega a little bit about not being able to go on the missions, especially as she always has in the past. And that's certainly going to be interesting to see where that goes in the future too. Well, anyway, how about some theories about the future based off of this episode? I think there is a good chance that we're going to get to see the Antar Atrocity in Season 2. Now, for those who don't know what the Antar Atrocity is, this is something that Tarkin led to really help subdue the Separatist worlds. It was explored in the book Tarkin, and this is about a year after the Empire is formed, so certainly after the events we're at currently, and essentially it was really to subdue them, get them to turn in big Separatist leaders that they still hadn't yet, and Makes Tarkin a bit of a pariah in terms of the media and the public, too. But I'm guessing what we just saw here on Raxus is going to help lead to the reason the Antar atrocity needs to happen in the first place. And this is Filoni, so I think there's a good shot he'll actually want to put this in. Here's hoping. I'm definitely not this season, but maybe season 2, maybe season 3. We'll see what we see. I don't know how long the show will go. It could easily be seasons before we see it. But if we start sowing these seeds, I love the potential. Okay, another piece. Now that the debt is paid, I think the do we want to be mercenaries question will become much bigger, and I think we're going to explore that here in these next few episodes pretty strongly. Now, as for the rebellion side, I'm not sure how strong that comes in here. I think it comes up near the finale, because I think they're going to work with some proto-rebels, shall we call them? And that's some of my theories on that. And I'm also going to say that I think there will be another encounter with a former separatist before the season is over, so as to keep challenging their view of the former separatists. I think there's a few things that are coming up based off of what happened in this episode. I don't know what you think there, but all of these are my top highlights of the 10th episode of The Bad Batch. And hey, I was half right last week when I expected it to be a bit more fillery and to be a mission from Sid. It just wasn't as fillery as I expected. And certainly no complaints from me there. We had some good character development and lore expansion. So hey, with that, well, what about you? What are your favorite moments from the 10th episode? And do you hope for the Bad Batch to break away from Sid for a bit now? Let me know down below in the comments. And let me also give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in helping support, there's always a link down below in the description. And to everyone, thank you so much for watching the channel. And it really does help out if you give the video a like, a share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you back here next time for another new episode of Freeform Star Wars. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.